Okay, I'm in. Are we waiting for people to come in the room? I'm gonna take my vitamins. I do not like taking these. Jack, how many do I have? Like 7? My God. Well, good evening, people. Good to have you in the room. You can see from the title what we're going to talk about. Dynamic in the house. Yes, indeed. Welcome and thank you for being here, being in the house. So, um, what you do when is a series that turns everyday situations into powerful conversations, exploring meaningful questions, lessons, challenges, and growth. So, I'm your host, W.D. Brown. And the main topic for today is going to be what do you do when you feel like you're failing? When you feel like, what do you do when you feel like you're failing? Um, Man, yeah, Nami's one of my favorite groups. Yeah, shout out to Nami, Q in the house, one of the members. Should be your favorite group. So, yeah, I just want to jump right in and show love and let you know I appreciate you. I know people start coming in a little later. Thank you for the hot meals already coming in. Appreciate it. This little mixer, Kareem, if you, because you're the one who turned me on to TikTok Studio. Devon in the house, what's going on? But you know, it don't have any sound effects, so I got this little mixer. It's called the Mayano. This is, I think, the Gen 2, the E something Gen 2. It's a little over $100. You know, it's like $120. Man, it's very clean, as you can hear. The music, I can bring the music in. I can put, You can put your own sound effects. So it don't come with effects in it. You plug in your own. I love it. You got your volumes for everything. I'm just look for the Maono Mayano. Just make sure it's Gen 2. It takes 2 mics. It's good. You got your mutes. You got your different simple thing to look at. Let me see if I can find it for them. I don't know if I can. No, I think if I go off screen, it's going to mess me up. So I'm not going to do it. How you doing, Yvonne? Good to have you in the house. It's going to be a good conversation. How do I sound tonight? I know before you told me it was too much echo, and I want to make sure I'm sounding good. Nelly, how do I sound? Yvonne says good. Sounds great. Okay, I'm finally figuring this thing out. So I got the little. The sound is very good. Thank you, my dear. So I got to show this to you. I know you're probably familiar with the DJIs already, Grant Man, but like I never thought about buying them. I always had the bigger guy, this thing, and they both sound good. But this one I got now blows them all out the water, and it's that big. I literally have it inside my shirt, underneath my shirt, because on the outside of the shirt it's too loud, it feeds back. I'm really impressed with it. Only cost about $59, something like that. If you want to get it with the charging thing, I think it's $79, but I wanted something smaller. The whole system right here. Good stuff. I want to turn my boy Grant Man on because he turned me on to the studio so I could get these backgrounds and things. So anyway, welcome. I usually start with showing you a video, but today I'm going to start with my talking point, and then I'll go to the video. What do you do when you feel like you're failing? And I want to talk about that because, man, it's very easy once you get started and you're starting to go forward with what it is you want to do. It's very easy to start to feel like you're not winning even though you've won. So it's crazy. He said, good topic. Thank you, brother. It's crazy because I've even tried to remind myself in those times, dude, what are you talking about? Look at this. Look at where you live. Look at what you have. Remember when you had nothing? Look when you was didn't have. Look when you didn't have this and look you have that. But here's the issue with that. It's not that we don't appreciate our accomplishment. We're not thankful to God for our accomplishments. But something inside of us, we know we're supposed to be more than what we are so far. So for a minute, we can pat ourselves on the back or build ourselves up or give ourselves a boost by saying, but still, look how many people ain't even where you are. And you can say all them kind of things for a minute, but those things don't hold you for long when you know destiny is calling you deeper. So then you face with one or two things, right? You're going to give into the lie that you're a failure, or you're going to try to cover it over. And as I've been sharing lately, what I've learned is not to try to duck the feelings, but to sit down, pray, let them wash over me, and deal with them. So when I started looking up some notes and putting together my notes for what I want to share today, the first thing I said is, okay, I said this on School of Hard Knocks live the other day. I said, I've learned that I learned that failure is a lie screaming in your face when the truth is across the street. But I've also learned that vulnerability is my superpower. And being able to say, I feel this way. Not I am, but I feel this way. And I'm going to face it allows me to confront. He said, my sales for franchise, not where it needs to be, but hearing others closing. No joke, right? No, it's crazy, right? Especially when you look at other people and you start comparing yourself to other people's success, and then you got this other gauge. But if you think about it, and we'll get to that. I mean, no matter how far I go with it, whether it's Bill Gates, whether it's Elon Musk, or there's Steve Jobs, what he's done, and there's Jeff Bezos, there's people, But the beautiful thing about that is the fact that you know that there's more means that the fighter is still in you. There are a lot of people that are very satisfied with and would be satisfied and would stop the bus and turn the motor off if they got where you are and where I am. So, and some of them say, hey, I don't ever want to be there. I never forget what my uncle said to me. I said, no, I want to be wealthy. Oh, no, you don't want to be wealthy. You don't want to be rich. No, absolutely not. Like, be for yourself, dude. But he was right for himself. He was right. He was never rich. But his needs were always met. And he paid his bills. And he, went from one week to the next. And it ain't for me, bro. Never was for me. And I was always the odd one in my family because I wanted more. And at times, yeah, be thankful for what you have. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. And we are. But we know that that's not where we belong. We know that we haven't reached our destination. And that's not, Kareem, that's not our fault. God put that in us. He put that drive in us. So I've had people tell me I was arrogant, I was ridiculous, it was stupid. I've been called all kind of names by my family members. You greedy, you care about his money and all this kind of stuff. And it's weird. People that you say, you care about his money, that's because that's where they are. Here's my point. They'll say that about people that's wealthy and succeeding, but no, we don't care. We don't have to care about money when you have money. You have to care about it when you don't. So to say, you care about his money is like, no, but I do care about accomplishing what I was put on this earth to accomplish. That's big. I'm gonna give myself a hand for that. I think that deserves one. So I'm gonna show the video in a second, but I wanna go over a couple of notes that I made here. Acknowledge it when you're feeling like a failure. Acknowledge it, but don't let it define you. Acknowledge it. I feel like I'm telling me. Failure happens. Things happen that feel like failures. And failures do happen. But that's not who I am. That's something that happened. Because something happened to you doesn't mean that you have to become that. So you have failures. And I've heard people say, no, I've never had failures. I never have a failure in my life. Everything is a lesson. Well, if that makes you live with it, fine. But it's the truth of the matter. If you play a game and somebody else win and you lost, that's a failure. Yeah, it's a lesson in it. But yeah, it's things that we set out to accomplish that didn't happen. That's considered by definition a failure. Is there education and a lesson in it? Yes. And not doing it right the first time or messing it up or getting it wrong is part of growing. Failure to me is when you walk away from the game and say, I quit. But as long as you keep coming up the bat, as long as you keep, getting in the ring, you haven't failed. You just a step closer to that knockout. You a step closer to that grand slam home run. You a step closer to that victory. The first couple of times I pick up a bat, I wasn't hitting anything, and people kept coaching me. And no, turn like this. No, put your knee out, put your arm up, put your shoulder up, aim different. And after a while, I started sailing the ball across the field, and I came to the real. Yeah, exactly. Failure is giving up forever. Absolutely. So be honest with what didn't work, but don't attach it to your identity. Be honest that it didn't work. If somebody come up to you and say, yeah, I know you said it, yeah, you said it 5 times. Yeah, every time I hear from you up to something, you ain't did this failed and that, you ain't did that. And again, that's a person usually that's not doing anything. Because the person who's doing something with their life, they're not sitting there keeping count of all the times you missed. A person who's winning is keeping count of the times that you got it. I'm around wealthy people. I'm around successful people. I'm a successful person on the level that I'm successful. And when I'm around people that's got way more money than me, they never sit down and talk about what I didn't get right. They always talk about what I did accomplish and how far I have come. So part of it would be to change your surroundings, but we'll get to that later. One moment does not define your destiny. One failure, one setback does not define your destiny. It does not define you. It does not say who you are. What all it does is say that you had a chance to get back, regroup, and come back. Now, before I read any more of my notes, I want to show this video because this video is big. Because you could hear me saying it, but I love when I hear people that I look to as successful people say the same thing I'm saying. So I want you to listen to this video. Let me put this video on for you. Let me show you this one here. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure the video, I don't get blocked by the video because then TT gets upset about it and then they start getting in my thing saying mean things to me. But let's listen to this video.
Most of my life has been failure, but I needed only one God. I don't need one Google, one shark neck, one wife, one shot to beat cancer. Those are the things that I'm successful at. One time to be able to leave a legacy with my little girls, so when they walk in the room, they get a fair shake. Their father was hopefully a good man. I have a big obligation. I'm gonna fail at almost everything else, but I'm good at those couple of things. Like you're good at what you do, you're good at this path you decide to take. You're unstoppable. And even if you don't make whatever gajillions do, will you ever say, I regret giving 10,000 people the gift of healing to be closer to their family? I mean, you have to be okay making mistakes. You have to believe in yourself. You're gonna have self-doubt. We all do. Am I good enough? Do this, do that, maybe you should get the way. But learn from your mistakes. Admit it. It's okay to say you were wrong or own it. The worst thing you can do is not take the shot. Is not try. Because you'll regret that and take the risk. Try.
Now, let's talk about that. First, let me give a clap to Daymond John. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. So, Daymond John went one direction, he went a different one. Making similar points, but he said, just don't give up. And he said, just, you got to be comfortable failing and get back up, the second guy. But Daymond's point was different. Daymond said, I failed at a lot of things, but then I found what I'm good at. And so all the things, he said, I failed at a lot of things, but I found the 4 or 5 things that I'm good at, that I'm great at. And those I'm succeeding in. Hear me out. Walk through this with me. So what he said is, it's not like I went back and won in all of those things. He said, I failed at those, but I found the thing that I'm good at, and I put my energy on that. So being a good father, being a good husband, I was Fubu, or there's Shark Tank. There. And he said, in these things, I'm great at those. And those other things that I failed at, I call them just that. Things that I failed at. These are not the things I'm good at. And ain't no sense me keep banging my head trying to win at something that I'm just not good at. Now, people that's driven usually have a problem with that because we don't want to accept that we fail at anything. We want to win at everything. But the reality, the truth is, there are things you fail at. There are things that you don't do right, that you just don't. They're not your strengths. So you accept them and you don't let them define you. And you don't put more emphasis on your losses than you do on your wins. And he said, if you got 10 losses, but one great win, let's celebrate that win. I'm going to share this with you. I've shared this with people before. I don't know how many people know this. And hopefully, if you never heard it before, you'll hear it tonight. A lot of people know, they talked about Babe Ruth hit more home runs than anybody ever. This guy had, until Hank Aaron beat his record, he had the record for a very long time. Very long time. of the most home runs. But Babe Ruth held 2 records. There are other records doesn't get spoken about. You think I'm wrong, you can Google right now. He also held the record for the most strikeouts. So you know why he had more home runs? Because he went to bat and was willing to strike out more than anybody else to get more home runs. He played the odds. He played the odds game hard. You know, they tell you in sales, you know, like every 10, contacts, you may get 1 yes. You know, as you grow and you get bigger, you may get more than 1. But those are the statistical odds that they give you. You don't have to receive those, but that's what they get. This man had more home runs than anybody because he came to bat and was willing to be struck out more times than probably a lot of people were willing to. And that right there is called resilience. And that's the people that win. So let's just go back here to this. And I love this. Point number 2, allow yourself to feel it. Don't stay there. Allow yourself to feel it. Dag, I screwed that up. And it may not even be success in terms of being a winner in the business or whatever. You know, you were in a situation, you open your mouth and you effed up. You messed the deal up. You said something stupid. You did something stupid. You embarrassed yourself. You embarrassed the people you were trying to do the deal with. Whatever the case may be. You screwed that up. Okay. Accept it. Look at it. Dang. Man, I wish I could do that again. Whew, I messed that one up. But you don't stay there. You pick up. You keep moving. Don't suppress it. Don't settle in it. Just don't make a home in that one issue. Feel it, process it, and make the decision to rise. So I heard somebody say the other night, and I thought it was powerful. If you had 8,600, I might not get the number right, but he said 806,500 dollars. 8,605 hours. It may be 8,600,486, something like that. But let's just say around there. And somebody took 10 of them or 20 of them, even 50 of them. Would you let that ruin your day? You got 80,000. What was it? 80,560, whatever. Now you can look up the real number for me when I say what I'm saying. He said, that's how many, I think he said, seconds you have in a day. That's how many seconds you have. So if somebody takes 10 of those or 20 of those by saying or doing something that upsets you, you're going to let it mess up your whole day. And that really registered to me. And if you get the real number, look up the number. And so you can see 8,000, whatever that number is. Look that up for me, how many seconds in a day. And somebody said something to you 30 seconds ago or 10 seconds ago, and now you're going to let it mess up all the rest of the seconds of your day. You can't live in it, even with failure. You're going to let that moment ruin the rest of your life? Does it make sense? And I'm talking to me as I'm talking to you. Trust me, I'm learning this as I'm teaching it, because I always say I'm on the track with you. I'm running right around with you. Matter of fact, tap that screen. Making sure you share some likes. Yeah, be good at your priorities. Yes, sir. He said, and die for less. You're both right. You're both right. It's true. It's true. But if somebody going, and you got to watch that word on here too. You got to say unalive on TT. But true. But $10, $20, $30 Somebody going to be unalive for that? So then you became exactly what I said. You threw your whole life away for that 10 seconds. 86,400. Thank you, babe. $86,400. And you're going to get upset about 30? Yeah, people have been unalive for less, but not for somebody who have that amount. They not, unless they really stupid in their ego. That you have to be a real idiot to throw away your life for $30 when you have 86,400. Makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense to let somebody come along and take 30 seconds, even 60 seconds of your time, and you throw away the whole 86,300 and something because of that. I've done it before. I know you've done it before. If you've done it before, if you've done that, and you know you have, put it in the chat. Say, yeah, I know I've done it. I know I've done it. And as you get older, I guess you start to realize what's more important. And you start to let things bother you a little bit less. Things hit me and I don't let them sit with me. And I don't let them sit with me now because I don't try to push them down and mash them down. I let it wash over. I let it burn. I go before the throne and I say, God, this hurt. And I let it burn and I let him take the burn away so that I don't have to keep trying to deal with it over and over again. The queen is the only one saying that that's true. The rest of you are liars. The rest of you are liars because you know you do. You know you do. You know you did. Okay. Here's where it gets the next phase of it. And I hope this is helpful to you. I hope you guys are getting something. And again, get people in the room, invite people you know. Grant Man fell off, but okay. Nelly, reach out to the team if you didn't already. Yep. Thank you for sharing, Devon. Thank you for sharing the live. Appreciate you. Share the live for sure. Get some people in here that you know could be blessed by this. But let's keep it going. Yeah. Well, definitely do your own shares from your page. So you can share your live right from where you are. Okay, so let's keep this moving. You got some good points here. And now I'm gonna open up the flow. Let people come in. Actually, you could come in now if you want. But here's point 3, number 3. It says, ask what this is trying to teach me. I don't like that, what this is trying to teach me. I would rather ask, what can I learn from this? Because situations sometimes negative, they're not trying to teach you, they're trying to knock you out, they're trying to take you out the game. It ain't always about somebody trying to teach you or the situation trying to teach you. And then you come to, unalive, steal, and destroy. So the question is, what do I learn from this? What can I learn from this? I like that better. What can I learn? Every failure, unless it's a final failure, has a lesson in it. What's the lesson? What will I get out of it? What adjustments do I need to make? And that's huge. And failure, depending on how you look at it, there's an adjustment you make so that you don't have the same mistake again. And even if you do, not as impactful as the first one. You're making the adjustments, you're making the changes. Growth comes from reflection. Listen to these words, not denial. Growth comes from reflection on what you did wrong, not denial. That's why you find people that don't apologize and don't ever accept that they're wrong. I don't know if you notice, those people never grow. They go to a cycle of defeat and they go over and over and over again. Hey, Esther, welcome. So This is powerful. Growth comes from reflection, not denial, not owning up to what you did wrong or where you messed up or how you messed up is a guarantee that you're repeating it. Accepting what people call failure or what failure looks like, even in the moment, becomes a process of elimination. And it comes the opportunity to look at how do I think or how did I approach this? And what could I do different? Esther likes that. She got right in on that one. She said, I like that one. Yeah, it's facts. It's fact. You missed the video, but I played the video. Damon John was talking about I failed at a lot of things. And what I did to win is focused on the few things that I'm good at instead of trying to be great at everything. And I realized I got a Shark Tank, I got a FUBU, he named the things he's great at, a husband, father, and he said, I'm not great at everything, and I'm not trying to be anymore. I'm just focused on being great at the things that I am great at. And that for him is success. So yeah, it's phenomenal. I like that. So point 6, remind yourself why you started. Now, I want you to listen close to what I just said. Not remind yourself where you started this time. I've talked to that before. But now in this point here, number point 6, I'm saying remind yourself why you started. What did you start doing this for? You start doing it for people to like you, people to approve of you, people to compliment you, people to love you, or do you have a purpose and a destiny in it? If you did, then you can take that quote unquote failure and say, that's strengthening me and moving me closer to the purpose and the destiny that I got started for. So remind yourself why you started. So here's some points. Go back to your why. Very, very, very important. Go back to your why. What did I do this for? Now, I say this, and this is crucial. I'm speaking to people that are entrepreneurs. I'm speaking to people that are just regular people that have dreams and vision goals. And here's why I'm saying this. Because if you're doing something that you don't like doing and you're living a life that you don't like living in, you're working in a job or in a business that you don't enjoy, this is kind of hard to do. I say, well, my why is I need to pay my rent and I need the job. That's fine. But it doesn't have the weight it has when you have a destiny and you have a goal and you have a purpose inside your heart. Then when you remind yourself why you're doing it, it has a different weight. I'm here and I'm called to go there and I must do it. One of my favorite movies of all time was Book of Eli. And he had a purpose. And his purpose was to walk across this wasteland of what was left after the apocalypse and get this Bible to this place. And he walked through and went through and dealt with some of the most horrendous everything. But he always said throughout the movie, stay on the path, stay on the path. You got somewhere to go, stay on the path. Now that right there, Book of Eli. That's a good movie. Good movie. Yeah. And Devon just responded to you. That movie is a fun with Denzel Washington. Yes. That movie, the action was good, the story was good, but the part that stuck with me was he kept saying he sees situations he want to get in. It ain't my business. Mind my business. Stay on the path. Stay on the path. And I mean, just like I said, it was. I think it was after some major nuclear, whatever, the wasteland. The Earth was some Mad Max type stuff. And he said, I got to get to this place. Yeah. Hey, Sophie, welcome. Yep. He had to deliver the Bible. but his focus was iron sharp. So why did you get started? Because if you have that deep seated in your soul, in your spirit, in your mind, the hurt that people cause you, the people you thought should love you and didn't, the people who you thought would be by you, the people you helped that didn't help you back, all that stuff, you start to go, yeah, but what did I do this for? So what did I do this for? Um, so I had a situation. I'm going to share it with you. Just yesterday. Um, well, now that I've been in the school of mentors, there's, I've become kind of a name very quick. I've become kind of the wisdom guy, and that's my gift. And so WD, they all call me WD. WD, I can show you all the images and the pictures of where they're mentioning somebody put a legend WD was in the room, and we learned so much. And the host of the room has turned the room over to me at one point and told me to take over. And I haven't even been there a couple of weeks. So I think I've only been on about 4 or 5 lives. Well, a young man who has a business in there reached out to me privately and said, "Can I talk to you?" He has a business, it's a securities type, in government types of security stuff. And he called me up. He said, "I'm in a situation," and I said, "Okay." I'm on a Zoom with him. I'm not charging him, and he told me a situation. He said, "I need somebody to talk to because all my staff, everybody's a flunky. They're saying what I want to hear. Need your help." I said, "I'm listening." Gave me a situation. Somebody's trying to, he owes him some money, so they try to ask him for a piece of his company, but a percentage of it. But he said, but they got good connections. They can help. I feel a little funny about this. Da, 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 da. So I asked him the questions. You keeping controlling interest? Yeah. Okay. Push back with this percentage and ask for an option. At a certain point, you can buy back that percentage based on what the business is worth at that time. It's great. All I had to get, dude, I got to get off the phone. Been on the phone here with hour or two. I'm not charging you. I got to go. And I don't mind doing that. Why am I telling this story? This is what hurt my feelings. And literally, like today, and like last night and today, I was praying, talking to the Lord about it. We had a guest speaker live, and he was the guy who started Ancestry.com. And he sold that, how many billion? Look that up. How much he sold it for? Was it 4 billion? 2 billion? Whatever it was. Big exit, sold that business, got out. He did his speech, and then they opened the room to questions. This brother came up on the screen to ask questions. He asked the guy the same exact questions he asked me. The guy gave him almost the same exact advice. Then he asked him, "So what was the offer?" And the gentleman says, "The number I told him," which means they agreed to it, "and the right to buy back his shares as the company succeeded." So I'm sitting there going, wow, he took my advice and it worked. So the gentleman who started Ancestry.com said, "Yo, asking for the right to buy back your shares? I never even thought of that. That's a great idea. That was very smart of you." This N-word said, "Thank you." And I'm right there on the live. He didn't say, "Oh no, WD told me to do that." He just took the praise and got up off of there. And I said, this mother beep. And I was, duh. And I was like, why am I so upset about it? Don't be upset. Listen, you gave it to him, you helped him out, just don't even take it. And I was like, no. I'm past pushing it down. This hurt my feelings. I felt disrespected. Like the guy, how much did they sell Audible for? Welcome, Ruth. Yeah, that's just me do stuff from the heart, my brother. You're right. So I sat there and I was like, I guess it hurt me because the guy who started and sold Ancestry.com for billions of dollars said my insight was powerful. I've never even done that in a deal. He took the glory, right, and didn't give me any credit. Didn't even acknowledge me in the chat. Thank you, WD, for blah, blah, blah. And I said, God, that didn't feel right. And God said, don't worry about it. He freezes right here. He can't steal from you and have this thing grow. And it's not going to happen. Shady way of business. Absolutely. This brother called me up and was literally pouring his heart out about this stalemate he was in. I gave him advice, but the blessing was, and what spoke to my heart was, I heard, Nelly, did you look up for me what Ancestry, the guy sold Ancestry.com for? I asked that a few times. Put it in the chat how much he sold it for. Anybody can. It doesn't have to be her. Look it up for me and tell me how much he sold that Ancestry.com for. I like to know. I know it was billions. My point is, a person who sold a business for billions, 4.7 billion, said to my idea, wow, I've never even thought about that. I want to do that in the future. I said, God, that means I have a mega billionaire mindset, that I gave a piece of advice to somebody who shared it on a live to a person who sold his company for $4.7 billion. And he said, that's a genius idea. I never thought of that. I need to do that in the future. And the brother took credit for it and never even acknowledged me. That hurt. It hurt my feelings. This was just Tuesday. Right, today's Thursday, so this was Tuesday. I said, man, I realized that acknowledging the hurt and not letting it take a hold of you is a part of going forward. It's the same thing with feeling like you failed or failing at something. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge that it hurts. Acknowledge that you don't like the way it makes you feel. But then you got to get up and you got to move and grow past it. So remind yourself of why you started. So here's what I had to do. I had to say, but that's what you do. You counsel. You help people and you counsel. He took the credit for it, fine. But I didn't do it so he can ride me around on his shoulders. And it's just weird because everybody in the room has been doing that since I joined. So for this day, for this guy to take the credit, it didn't feel good. And I have to acknowledge, okay, so what's in me that I'm so bothered by the fact that he didn't acknowledge me? Well, I felt it was my idea and he took credit. And such is life, I hear in these games. So your purpose has to be stronger than your emotions. Remind yourself of your purpose, why you got started, but your purpose has to be stronger than your emotions. And that's when you begin to sort it out the way you need to sort it out. So many people are driven primarily by their emotions. They can't sort, they can't separate, they can't see beyond the emotions. So as Q said, People have lost, been unalived for less than $30. Right. And now you're spending the rest of your life in jail because you felt disrespected about $30. The logic doesn't make sense, doesn't add up. So make sure I got the number right, because this is important. And go back here. Was it 86,500 minutes in a day? That's what it was? 86,500? Trying to go back to where my queen, she put it in here. It was before Book of Eli. Let's go back. You remember the number, Queen? 86,400 minutes in a day. Seconds. 86,400 seconds in a day. And somebody comes and upsets you for 30 of those seconds, and you're going to let it rob you of the rest of that money. Of that time. Doesn't make any sense. No logic to it. No sensible logic to it. So your purpose has to be stronger than your emotions. If they are, you pull yourself back and say, back to work, but acknowledge it, but then get back to work. When your reason is clear, quitting becomes harder. When you know what you're there for, I'm not doing this again. I failed. I messed up 5 times. I tried it this many times. It didn't work. I just quit. People laughing at me. All of that stuff goes away when your reason and your purpose is clear. It's harder to quit when you know what you're doing it for. So let me just bring this home. Pursue your dreams with purpose. And if your purpose is just to get rich so I can show them, that's a bad purpose. It won't work. Because once you become successful, and I'm living proof of that, they usually treat you worse. They treat you like they're entitled to what you have. And when you don't give it to them, then they show you the other side of them, and they show you that they never loved you in the first place. It's sometimes getting wealthy is the worst thing that can happen to people, because they want people now to look at them and say, I was wrong about you, and they refuse to. They will still call you what they were calling you, and then some. They won't turn around and say the other thing. They won't. The way they saw you, they still see you that way. So, listen, you don't have the option to try to be successful for the sake of proving somebody wrong. You got to be successful to prove that God was right, and what he said about you was real. And anything else after this needs to have no matter at all. I'm gonna give myself a applause for that. That was good. Sometimes I gotta hype myself. Okay, let's bring it on in. So you got that. Now we're in point 6, and this is good. Point 7. See how many points I got left here. We're gonna have to pick this up because I got a lot of them. Well, maybe not. We'll see. We'll get into the conversation after this for anybody who wants to come in. Build resilience. Get back up and get back in. Strength is built in the comeback. It is not built in the laying down and feeling sorry for yourself. If you have a failure, I tell people, okay, take a minute if you need to. But resilience is where strength is built. Get back up. In the comeback is where you find strength. When you try to lift that weight that first time you couldn't lift it, that's a failure. But the strength to lift it is in the coming back and trying again and trying again. I'll get a little bit smaller weight, and then I'm a little bit more, and then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna try again. Strength is built in resilience. It's not built in disappointments. It's built in resilience. You have the disappointment, fine, but resilience, the decision to come back and not quit and do it again, is where success comes from. Every time you rise, you become more equipped. Every time you get back in the race, you know how to run the race a little bit better. If you ever played video games, You try to pass the board or beat the boss. And you just kept failing, and you keep trying, You may ask some people, how do you get past that? And you find, whatever the codes is, go online now, you can look up a video or see how to win. And then you come back and you still try and it doesn't work. But you got the basic principle of how it works. And then you keep messing around till you figure out where the strengths are and where the weaknesses are. You come out on top. Same thing with life, same thing with success. You lose. Yes, you lose. Yes, you fail. Yes, you make mistakes. But you come back and you don't stay down. And every time you come back, you're more equipped than you were the time before. I'm going to mention another movie. Nelly brought it up last time. The Tom Cruise one, I think is Edge of Tomorrow. Yes, the comebacks are always greater. The Tom Cruise one is the Edge of Tomorrow, where he keeps, trying to beat these aliens, and he keeps getting taken out, and then he keeps coming back. Every time he gets taken out, he got to start the day all over again. Yeah, somebody gonna put the name in there in a minute. But yeah, it's like that. And every time he came back, he was better, and he was stronger, and he was smarter, and he knew he got a little further, just a little further every time he came back. If you didn't see that movie, see that movie. Those are movies right there that I always look for. It is, yes, The Edge of Tomorrow. Yes, thank you. That movie. Who in here has seen it? Let me know in the chat if you saw that movie. That movie's a good movie, and it's a good movie for that. Like I said, I love action movies. I love movies like that, but I don't like action movies if don't have a story. If it's not something in there, you seen it. Yeah, so for you, the movie queen, you know what's up with the movies. And that all of you on here, make sure you share the live. Share the live if you don't mind. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Esther, for the gifts. Listen, so Edge of Tomorrow, Book of Eli, both movies to me about resilience, about you don't quit no matter what, you keep going. That movie right there. Thank you for sharing the live, Esther. I appreciate it. Thank you, those of you who are tapping the screen and sharing them likes. Thank you for the gifts. Definitely get in the comments, talk a little bit. That's one of the things that I'm learning about TT in this season. They don't care as much about the likes as they do about the interaction. So definitely share. Shares work well. Comment. Get your comments in here. Yes, the comments are important. Thank you, Grant Man, for sure. Comments are important. The interaction is important. Even if you get in and say hi to somebody, that's fine too. Pursuit of Happiness is a favorite movie too. Yeah, that's a good movie. Yeah, he went to some HE double hockey sticks, they used to say. Yeah, yeah, he went through some stuff, and had to make some of the roughest decisions. And when the guy said, "We're not paying you," and he's like, I gotta feed my kids stuff. I can't take this job." He had to remind himself, "Well, what did you get in here and do all of this for?" And he had to say, "Okay." Ruth said, "I cried at the end of the movie." Yeah, that was a good movie. That was a really, really good movie. You cried too? I don't remember if I cried at the end of that. If I am, I ain't gonna tell y'all. No, I don't remember. I just know it was a good movie, and I love the commitment to not giving up and pursuing that dream. And then they showed them in real life, which is really a blessing. Okay, let's go to number 9. Point number 9. So just the last. I just want to repeat the last point of number 8 again. When you lose, you don't lose when you fail. You lose when you stay down. And I want to make sure I make that really, really important because I almost left that one out. When you when you fail, you don't lose. You lose when you stay down, when you don't get back in the race. Somebody put that in the comments a little earlier. Yes, it's when you stay down is when you lose. Don't stay down. get back up, get stronger, get wiser. Very important point I'm about to make. Ready? Don't compare your journey. Don't compare yourself to other people in this journey. It's very important. Don't look at other people's success and compare yourself to this. I've been around people that I thought were way more successful than me, had, back in the day when I had nothing, and they had less than what I have now. And I looked at their life and it just broke my heart because I felt sick inside, because I felt like such a failure. And then I would see them in the misery they were going through and the struggle they were going through. And I go like, you, your every waking moment is trying to keep up this facade for everybody to see. You're not even happy or enjoying this. I'm like, if this is what it is, I don't want this. And that was one of the things that, as a young man, kind of shaped the way I looked at success. If success means that I don't have a life, I don't want that. You're a slave. Everything you own now owns you. That's not success. Maybe it is for somebody, it's not for me. So don't compare yourself. Your journey is your journey. Someone else winning doesn't mean you're losing. It's different games, as Dana John said earlier. I picked the things that I'm great at, and those are the things I focus on. He said, I failed at a lot of things, but the 5 things that I'm great at, that's what I'm great at. Stay focused on your assignment, your timing, your path. I remember I said to Esther, stay focused, stay humble, stay grateful. That was the word God gave me, that I gave to her. Stay focused, stay humble, stay grateful. Those things keep you grounded. Know what your purpose is and why you're there. Stay focused on your assignment, stay focused on your timing, stay focused on your path. But I know so many people who got there before me and they started when I started and now they did it. Okay, fine. Stay on your path. I've seen a lot of people get there before me. I see them today. I've been around long enough. I could tell some stories. These are people I looked up to. They had music videos. They was on TV. They was everything. And I see them today. They said, "What you up to?" Well, yeah, I'm okay. So where you now? Well, even before I was in Miami. Huh? Excuse me. So I didn't say excuse me to you when you was winning. Let me see some of these notes. Say, hey, yo, I'm driving, but I'm here. Thanks for the message. You're welcome, and thank you for being here. Appreciate you being in the room, my boy. Um, as I said, when you fail, don't try. You don't lose. You lose when you stay down. I like that. That's for you, just for you. Um, being on TV is nice, though. Being on TV is, yeah. Well, you got to see some of the people that was on TV today. Don't you see some of those "Where Are They Now" stories? Ah, my God, my God. Yeah, 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 yeah. And some people, and some of them say, and I've heard them say, and you heard them say it too, D. I wish I had never done it. I wish I had never got on TV. I wish I had never got into the industry. You hear so many of them say stories like that. What do you do now? I'm in real estate. You don't have no. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. You can't. You couldn't pay me to go back. I've seen people take regular, everyday jobs. I know a couple of business executives that were like major, like execs in corporations that say, no, right now I'm driving a school bus, or I'm working in the school as a gym teacher, and I'm happier than I've ever been in my life. You go like, but you reached the top of topness. Yeah, I wasn't happy. your purpose and your journey decide. Now, somebody will look at that person and say they're a failure because they were this big exec and now they're working over here at a high school, but they're happier than they've ever been. And that's success to them. The other thing wasn't. They reached this so-called goal and they weren't happy. Again, if it's not your purpose in life, it's only so happy you're going to be. And don't think because you reach a level of success that hurt and misery don't try to follow you. It follows you. You have to be comfortable in what you're called to do so that it don't take you out. Okay. So stay focused on your assignment, your timing, your path. Compassion will make your guilt premature. Compassion, and let me phrase that different. Being overly compassionate for people, I don't even think compassion is the right word. Let's say the need to save people, the need to rescue people, the need to I would call it survivor's guilt. People, I went through that. You become successful and then you feel now it's your responsibility to take care of everybody else. And that will make you quit or give up. Also, comparison will make you quit and give up. The feeling guilt about being there could take you down. But also comparing yourself to other people will take you down. Don't get to the place that you're comparing your success to somebody else's. And don't feel that because you made it, you're now responsible for everybody who did not. Both of those will take you out prematurely. And I really, when I started to become successful, went to this guilt thing. I was saying, it's on me. I'm gonna give you money to pay down on your house. Every one of these people turned on me. So now I'm not generous like that. I'm still very generous. But I'm not generous like that. And I'm definitely not generous like that to those who've been around and think they're supposed to have it because I have it. I'm not generous like that to them because then the relationship is about what I give you. It's not about us. And I don't want to have anything to do with that. So I've changed my tune a lot about my generosity because I realized before my generosity was trying to buy love. It really wasn't about who I was and what I was called to be. And that's crazy. So that I said compassion, but I can't think of another word, but that's survivor's guilt. You can think of somebody said like MC Hammer. MC Hammer, that almost took everything from him. That almost took everything from MC Hammer. They making me slide the puzzle right now. They didn't like the way I did it last time. They didn't think I was slid enough. Okay, I'm good now? All right, get up out here with that mess. Yeah, Esther says survivor's guilt. Wow. And that's what it is, Esther. It's like you feel like you know what survivor's guilt is? You ever heard the term before? You know what survivor's guilt is? Because I use that phrase, but that's an important phrase. Do you understand what that means? If you do, let me know in the chat. You say, yeah, he has. You have, or you know what it is. Who else knows what survivor's guilt is? We're going to open up the chat and talk about that. I just got a few more points, and then we're going to open up the room and just kick it around a little bit. So, yeah. Survivor's guilt's crazy. Here we go. Last two I guess, sub-points. Number 10, take the next step, even if it's small. You don't need a full plan. You just need a step. I say this all the time. Everybody successful says this. You don't have to take over the whole world. Every little step gets you closer. I love that saying. I'll take forward motion, even if it's in the pace of a snail. Take the step. Action rebuilds your confidence. After you have a fail, after you have a fall, after you become disenfranchised by something that knocked you out of the race for a minute, action rebuilds confidence. Progress, not perfection. That's the key. You're not perfect, but you're progressing. Fall in love with progress. Break up with perfection. I know it may not sound right, but trust me when I tell you, if you keep trying to do it right, you'll stay focused on one thing for so long that you miss the opportunity. So this person made it and this person got there. Yeah, because they went forward what they had and they said, I'll win after I get there. Then I know people say to me, and this is a true experience. I was taking guitar lessons. This was about maybe 15 years, 20 years ago. I started taking lessons with this guy, and he was phenomenal. He was fantastic. I couldn't play anything. He was fantastic. And I said to him, why aren't you out there? Like, why aren't you doing stuff? And he said, because, you know, Jimi Hendrix was his favorite. He could play blues, and he could play jazz, and he could play rock, and he could play. And he said, so he wanted to get all of this down before he stepped out there. And I said, but people go out there and become super successful can only play 3 chords. I have to be like that. I said, so you think that Jimmy had all this perfected before he went out? That was his position. I saw him maybe about 4 or 5 years later. He was fat, out of shape. He wasn't even playing. He was working in the gas station. And I was like, and he wanted to be perfect. I don't want to be like these crap kids get out here and they can't really even sing. But they get to perfect it in their world. Okay, I'm not dissing him because he worked in the gas station. I'm just saying nothing came of that dream. So you don't have to be perfect. You just need a plan and take that first step. Like I said, action builds confidence, progress, not perfection. That's the key. Surround yourself with the right people. Number 11, get around people who uplift you, not remind you of your failures. If those are people you're around, I don't care who they are, replace them. I owed you, there's a saying I heard recently, I owe you forgiveness, I don't owe you access. I owe you forgiveness, I don't owe you access. I don't have to give you access to me, and you don't have a right to it. Um, Environment matters when you're rebuilding. If these people are not about you get to know, like I said, successful people don't really dive into and dig into your failures. Because they've had them, they will walk you through into success if that's what you're really about. I had a call today with a young lady that they introduced me to through school of mentors, and she just came back from the Dominican Republic, and she's getting ready to go over to, I think she said India or something. And she travels, she speaks, and she was on the chat with me today, and she was just on the Zoom with me today, and she was just giving me game, but she asked me questions at first, and she could see she was very hesitant about what she was willing to give me. You could see like she was like, okay, they asked me to talk to you, so I'm talking to you, but and then when I showed her, no, I did the book. No, I got a trademark. No, I'm doing this. No, I'm doing that. She started to warm up even more. And then when I said to her, yeah, and I just got married in December, me and my all of a sudden her whole demeanor changed. Oh, you about going forward. Like you not playing. I'm like, no, I'm not. She said, well, stay in touch with me. Reach out to me if you need any more stuff. I said, next time I speak to you, I'm gonna have these grounds covered that you told me to cover when we speak again. I've been looking forward to it. And I said, yeah, because people that are successful, they want to work with people. They want to be able to say, I played a part and I helped. And so that's beautiful. So Environment matters when you're rebuilding. Don't put yourself around people that remind you of your failures. Environment and the people you keep around you, they play a part. Last but not least, turn the setbacks into fuel. Don't let it drain you. Let it charge you. Let it give you, as they say, put a battery in your back. Let it give you something that you didn't have before. Let the setbacks turn into fuel. Let it push you. Don't let it paralyze you. It's very important. Take every opportunity that knocked you down. Like I said, face it. Don't run from it. Lay it out. Get before the throne of God. I should say, let it burn. Let it burn until it don't burn anymore. And then you get up and you keep moving. Use the pain as motivation to come back wiser, stronger, and sharper. That's my presentation for tonight. I'll open up the room to anybody who wants to jump up in there and have a conversation with me. I know I usually send out the invites. If you can get in, you can. If you can't, you kick it off, and that's fine. But the room is now open. Okay, I think I invited everybody. I know Moore's driving, she can't get in. Okay, so, and I know Dynamic Areas don't get in there, but I still send it out anyway. So, hey, come on in the room. Unless you're done with me, unless you had enough with me for the night, then that's good too. I'll take the cue and go on about my business. Nobody coming in? Okay. Will? Oh, Devon's in here. I didn't see Devon, sorry. And the Queen is in. The Queen is in. The Prawn is in.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. We tested everything tonight. We made sure everything was working.
Good, good. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for dropping jewels on us about everything that you spoke about pertaining to when you feel like you're failing and like the emotional awareness that we must have going into or the pursuit of our businesses and dreams, you know. It's very informative. And thank you. Big thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah. What stuck with you the most? I know it was a lot of stuff, but tell me what spoke to you.
What spoke to me was actually your resilience pertaining to the story you were speaking about earlier with Ancestry.com.
Mm-hmm.
And the bounce back off of that, because there are snakes in the grass. And I always have a saying. I say, when there's snakes in the grass, become a mongoose. And mongoose go after the snakes. So basically, in short, what I'm saying is just be ready for the people out there that's going to try to.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. No, listen, every business is a business. And sometimes people in the business forget to be people. But it was a good conversation. It was a lot of great education. And like I said, we're not going to take that 1 minute and throw away all that 10 seconds or that 30 seconds and throw away the 86,400. We're just not going to do it. So, yeah, it's all good. But yeah, I appreciate you. What's up, Esther? I see you in here. Welcome. I guess you must be home tonight. What's going on?
Hi.
Hey.
Can you hear me? How's the reception?
Everything is good tonight. Like I said, every time we get on, I'm figuring this bad boy out.
Right. Yeah, like Devon, thank you so much for these rules. The thing that stuck with me, I think the most, is when you say your purpose has to be stronger than your emotions.
Mm.
You know, you're not getting caught up in what this person is doing or what that person is doing and not doing, but be focused, stay humble, stay grateful. Thank you for that reminder as well. You know, when you mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. But yeah, that's a great reminder. Thank you for that. I will stay focused, grateful, and humble. I will continue to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome for that. Give you a horn for that. So, Queen, anything you want to share? Q, I invited you up a couple of times. I don't know where you are, but I know you usually have something to say.
Okay, so for me is watching the conversation that you have with yourself. Like, don't let one moment create a negative mindset. You know, like you got. I remember I read this book one time. And they say to have a good bounce back ability. Like, remember those toys they used to have back in the day with like an air balloon, and it had like the little
The bubble clowns.
like a cloud that when you punch it jumps back up.
The bubble clowns, yeah. It bounces.
Yeah, I know what that was called.
Mm-hmm. No, she's talking about the bubble clowns. Mm-hmm.
And we used to punch it, and it just keep bouncing back. And I remember, I don't know what book it was, but I just know it said one of the things that you have to have is the bounce back. You gotta be able to, get in there and shove the. I don't want to say shove the emotions down, but you'll deal with them, but don't let them change the whole entire mood and change your focus.
Yeah.
And can be able to still step forward and keep going as you're dealing with those things. And that's something that I really had to learn that and exercise that in my life. I think I got so good at doing that to the point where it was not good because I didn't deal with it at all. So I had to I had to get the balance now. Don't completely cover them up, but you can do that just to get through the moment and then address the situation as you are able, whether it's with a person or by yourself or just giving it back to the Lord to get that healing, because I know that's a healing is important. But you talked about replace the I can't with I'm learning.
Mm-hmm.
And I failed with I'm growing, and that stuck out. And to continue speaking life over yourself. So those were the points that kind of it resonated with me. Thank you.
I got to give you the horns for that. That was dope. And thank you for pulling the points together. For me, she goes up, and I give her what I'm going to talk about. She goes and she throws it in Chat GPT, and she gives me bullet points so that I can speak on. Then I take them and tweak them if I need to. But the ones she gave me today were fire. I said, yeah, I'm just going to work with that. So shout out to Nelly for always helping me get my message together. And it's awesome to have you, Queen, helping me out. Love. Nothing but love for you, baby. Yeah, this is good. Anything? Anybody else want to say anything? Even if you can't come on, you can say something in the chat. That'd be fine. Where we at today? Oh, we did good today. We got 86K. Okay, so I'm gonna hang on till we get to 90. Let's tap the screen and get us over 90. We can get to 100K. That'd be dope. I think we ain't been to 100K in a long time. This is good. I know some of you are driving, so you can't be tapping screens. Please don't tap the screen if you drive.
Can I add a story?
Oh yeah, bro, absolutely.
So there was a time that I felt like I was failing. Not in my career, but this was around the time everything in the pandemic thank God every day that I was fortunate enough to be able to do corporate event works to get me and my family by financially during the pandemic. But when everything came back, the one spot that I was working with prior to the pandemic, they just stopped booking me completely cold turkey. I was told, oh, we switched management, a lot of people got new hires. No, what it was a person did a very selfish act and asked to do the shows all by themselves, basically, like the position that I would usually hold. And I felt that was very selfish because we would work two different venues and they just took it all for themselves. And I took that real personal because it's like, damn, you didn't even think about my family. You didn't even think about my well-being. You was just all in it for yourself. But before I could really let that sit into my spirit or my bones, I realized who I am. I'm Devon. Name's heavy in the industry. So I started hitting pillar posts, got back in the grind, got even hungrier.
I had to give you that I had to remember my name's Devon. I was like, I got to give him the horns for that.
Yeah, and my name holds weight in this entertainment industry. And I have multiple venues that I can work at. Like, if you want to be a king in comfort, I'm gonna be an emperor of many. So the whole off-Broadway district is mine. Like, I've worked multiple places and still getting mine. So that's the bounce back story with the feeling of failure.
I had to give you the horns for that. That was fire. That was fire. I mean, that was good. That was a good share. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. But these are the kind of stories that, keep hope alive and keep us becoming, and going down that journey, going down that road, because sometimes that road just looks like it's just not working. And like I said, I have failures, and I've learned to take them. They hurt, but I bounce back a lot quicker now, way quicker. And, because I realized, okay, so how long are you going to be in your emotions and what purpose is it going to serve? And I just get up out of there. Like, yeah, I got stuff to do. And feeling sorry for myself is not part of the process. So you get up, you get back in, like you said, good name. The sister said something to me today that was powerful. She said, I've turned people on and told them everything I know, and they've gone out there and become super successful. Shot way past me, like, wow, they're making all this money. She said, and then all of a sudden, you don't hear from them anymore. And she said, you know why? And I said, they were overcharging. She said, yes. They were all about getting the money, so they were hot. They didn't build a community. They didn't have any people around them that cared about them. So when the time was up and they didn't feel she was hot anymore, she can't even get a dollar gig now because she burned through the people because she didn't have a purpose other than making money. And I was like, wow. She said, so when you're out here making these relationships, build community. Don't just go out there and just try to take everybody for every dime you can take them for. I said, respect. So yeah, that person came in, they did what they did, but it just really messed up. But you turn around one day and you need that person. That person needs you, and hopefully they're smart enough to say, okay, I failed, I effed up, and ask for forgiveness. And that you're nice enough to give it to them. But yeah, guys, thank you, Sophie, for the hearts. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Devon. Thank you all for your gifts. I don't want you to think they go unnoticed. They all dynamic, all of you. Thank you. I appreciate all the gifts. I give you, oh my God, give you a clap. I would say this has been a very good night. It's been a very fun night. I love sharing, and hopefully I see you guys again on Tuesday. And I'm going to get ready to say goodnight. If anybody has any last minute things they want to put in there, in the chat, or pop on ask a question, now is your time. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure. Awesome, is dancing. Okay. It's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. No. Thank you, Queen. Appreciate that. So thank you, dear. She in the chat. Can you ask me now? Let's see this song. And you know, I think this one is on YouTube. I think this song is on YouTube. So I said, yeah, we're gonna stop playing other people's music because it keep getting flags and things popping up, and you're not allowed to play this and all this, man. It's like, all right, fine. I put my own stuff up there. Nobody say nothing, and they don't. I haven't got any pop-ups, any flags, anything. Not only that, like when Nelly would post videos, she put a clip on one set of social media, and that song is allowed, but then you go to YouTube and it's not allowed, and you go here and it's not allowed. Like here, just put this on everything, and then we'll have no question about what's allowed. Guys, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you. Thank you, all of you who got in the comments and got in the gifts. All of you appreciate it and love. Thank you for the heart me's. Make sure before you get out that you go up there and you check yourself out on your gifts. I appreciate you all. If you're driving, get home safe and safely. And love and blessings to you all. And this is just the beginning of so much more to come. We're going to do some more. What do you do when? Like I said, same topics. Ruth and Edward sent me a bunch of topics. They're the only ones out here that send me some topics. Send me some topics because I think it's going to be a phenomenal book. Like I said, just all you got to do is finish the sentence. What do you do when? Put whatever you feel that is. And those are questions you might not only answer for you, but you answer for probably a lot of people who need those same answers that you need. So definitely get in here, even if not in the comments, send it. Go on, DM me on any one of the social media pages, and give us some topics that we can cover. And I look forward to having more time with you guys, having more fun with you guys. You ready? Let's go. Good night, family.